Hey, joining us now on the MARR Rock Show, we have Ed Owens, the singer from the band Loaded Gun out of New Jersey. Ed, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
So, man, this has got to be a really exciting week for you guys. The debut album is coming out. So, hey, tell us a little bit about where and when people can find your brand new album.
Well, right now I have the physical copies in my hand. So at our shows, we're definitely going to have them available. But they'll also be available through CD Baby, Amazon, and they can download them through iTunes. So pretty much, you know, they can get them anywhere now. Well, in a few days, they'll be available online.
So we air on Tuesday. So do you think beginning next week they'll be available for everybody?
I think they'll be available. I think sometimes this week they'll become available online. I mean, this is my first time setting up the account with the online retail, so I'm not exactly sure how fast everything goes through.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the Facebook page and everything else, and I'm sure you'll let folks know. So give us a little bit of the details. So it's your debut album. Where was this thing produced and mixed and all that stuff?
Well, we recorded it in Blackwood, New Jersey at Musically Speaking Studios with Stephen Childs as our engineer. And so a lot of the production is between me and Steve. And I mean, I'm pretty crazy. I come up with a lot of little ideas to put in the stuff. And you know, and then all the band members, whenever they would think of anything to add to the mix. And I wrote most of the songs on the album myself, and then 3 of them Dave, my lead guitar player, wrote.
Yeah, so I want to ask you, for folks that don't know your style, the first thing is, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember where you met us? Because I checked with my partner, and I just, we figured it out. Do you remember the first time we met?
Yeah, I think the first time we met was at M3 in the, in the hotel before M3.
Yeah, and the reason I mention that is it seems so fitting with one of the things I want to ask you about. Your style and of your band has so much reminiscence of the great bands that play that festival every year. And mentioning that you and one other member wrote the songs, tell me a little bit about the influences that make up your band and each of the members.
That's definitely where we come from. We're 80s guys. I'm really big into Cinderella, Warrant, Dio, Halloween, Queensryche, Whitesnake, Grim Reaper, all that. A mixture of the hard rock and metal from the 80s is my influence, and I think everybody will hear that in the music. And all my guys in my bands, they all grew up with that, and that's what they love. And with our music, we're not trying to be trendy. We're just trying to make good music that comes from our hearts.
Now, you mentioned Cinderella in that mix, and those guys, Tom Kiefer's still going strong. Tell us a little bit about, do we see a resurgence? You're in that Philly music scene, and that I just keep hearing bands like you starting to really grab a new niche in that scene up there.
I don't know, I feel like we're pretty, I think we really stand out for having that 80s influence style in our area. There's a lot of bands getting back to it, but I think we're really the standout for being an 80s sounding band. Like we have, Mach 22, I'm sure you're familiar with them.
Oh, yeah.
They have a very old school influence sound. And now Murder Smile, I think you know them also. Mm-hmm. A lot of their guitar work is, you can really hear the 80s influence in it. So, I think it's definitely something that's coming back. And I think there's getting to be more of a demand because people want melodic rock. They don't want rock that's not melodic anymore. And I just, music that's not melodic never really seems to make it mainstream. And so, I mean, you can't fight the numbers. What people want is what they want.
I have not had the opportunity yet to listen to the album, so I want to ask you, did the tune Addicted make it onto that album?
Yes.
So let me ask you about that tune. I really like that song a lot. What is going on with the voice at the beginning of that song? What is that from? Like the little newscaster kind of sounding voice. What is that?
Okay, well, since the song's called Addicted, and it has that long guitar introduction, we wanted to put a fill in that just to spice it up a little bit. So we were sitting in the studio thinking, what can we put in here that will fit the song? And I was sitting there thinking, I said, how about we put like some voice from like an anti-drug film from back in the day to just add a little flavor to the beginning. And I found that online, and here, since it was so old, it was public domain, so we were able to put it in the recording.
It's a cool tune, man, and I like the vibe of it quite a bit. Now, do you have a personal favorite on the album that bubbled to the top that you just said, yep, this is the one that had to be on there, this is Ed's favorite?
I mean, I really think our ballad, You Are Mine, is probably one of our most well-received songs because it's a really powerful ballad. I mean, everybody that I've talked to is just like, wow, I really can feel the emotion in that song. And I think that's the type of song that spreads the gap between, any type of audience you might come across. So I really think that's our biggest powerhouse on the album. But, our stuff kind of bounces around where you have more of the hard rock feel, and then you can feel some of the more traditional metal influences. So I think our album will appeal to a lot of different 80s style rock metal fans.
Now, hey, I saw you guys have a pretty cool show coming up in June, it looks like, with Lynch Mob. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's coming up June 11th. It's a Thursday night. We're going to be open for Lynch Mob. And that's something we're all super excited about because, I mean, with our influences, George Lynch is one of our biggest heroes. So just to think that we're playing a show in the same building as him is pretty crazy. And that show, I know it's going to be packed in there, so we're all really pumped up. And, we're going to have our albums on hand. So I just think that's going to be an incredible night.
So, and that, of course, is up at the legendary Dobbs in Philly, right down South Street. That's a cool little club, and I bet you guys are going to jam-pack that place for sure. Hey, has there been any talk of a music video yet? I know that's rushing you. The album just came out, but has there been talk about a video?
Actually, I'm working on setting that up right now. I'm making some phone calls. I'm figuring some stuff out, and hopefully very soon we'll shoot the video.
Now, do you have any kind of concepts in mind? Are you thinking that because you guys have that 80s flair, doing the classic 80s kind of hair metal video, or do you have like a concept in mind yet, or still kicking things around?
I actually have different ideas for different songs. I think for my first video, I'm probably going to be more simple. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between Addicted and Lie Alone. It depends on what location I also get the reserve to make the video, depending on what song and what the video is going to look like.
So, hey man, as you guys released your first album, looking back, did you guys kind of cut your teeth as a cover band in the clubs up there?
I formed this band at the end of 2011, I kind of got sick of dealing with cover bands, and I said, you know, I want to try writing my own music, and I went in the studio with actually "Loaded Gun" was the first song I recorded as an original, and that's on the album. I went in the studio with that song, and I recorded it, and I said, wow, this really came out good. Like, I was kind of surprised myself. I was like, maybe I should keep writing music. And, you know, so I let my friends hear it and other guys I was playing in bands with, and everybody was just like, wow, that really is cool. So I put the band together, and so that got Loaded Gun, the band started. But all my members of my band, they had all been playing in bands, some cover bands, some original bands. And but I think the heart of everybody in my band is really in love with original music. There's just something about creating your own songs and playing them for people that you don't feel when you play covers.
Yeah, man, I can only imagine the joy that you guys must feel with getting ready to release this album. And, hey, man, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, Ed. I remember that I mentioned we met, you know, in the hotel at M3. We really didn't know your band, and I came home and listened to you guys, and we've been fans ever since. And I'm really excited for you guys to see the new album coming out and be able to share that with some people on the show tonight. So, Ed Owens, everybody, and the band is Loaded Gun. They're out of New Jersey. And, Ed, thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Well, thank you. I really hope you enjoy the album, and I hope everyone will give it a chance. I really think it's something that can fit right in with people's 80s collections. And I look forward to hearing how everybody likes it.
Hey, Ed, thanks again for being here, and we hope to see you live at a show real soon, man.
Thank you. You take care.